Welcome to Behind the Badge with your special guest, Lieutenant Williams, your news source for all things police in the city of Fond du Lac.
This is KFIZ Today on a Friday. Always reserve this time spot for Behind the Badge, a weekly visit with the Fond du Lac Police Departments. Lieutenant Ryan Williams in studio, and we've got a guest, another new hire here with the police departments, going to be joining us.
Yeah, it seems like about, every 3 weeks I bring in a new hire. If you count the CSOs, maybe every other week. But it's good.
Fresh faces.
It's good. And this is a fresh face, but this is also not a fresh face for law enforcement. This is Nicholas Willman, and I'll let him tell us a little bit about himself. So go ahead, Nick.
How we doing, everyone? My name is Nick Willman. I come to Fond du Lac PD, very excited to be here. I have 8 years of previous law enforcement experience. Again, new here, but not new to the job.
Where do you come from? So where had you been working?
I was previously with the Columbia County Sheriff's Office out of Portage, Wisconsin, so I was there for just about 8 years. And from the Fox Valley area, so my wife and I decided to make the switch to be closer to family.
Whereabouts in the Fox Valley did you grow up in?
Grew up in Appleton.
Okay. And at what point in life did you know this is the career path for you, and how did you know that?
Just at a young age, I just always had ambition to get into law enforcement. I joined the military at 19. I wanted to use that as, for two reasons. One, to serve my country, but also two, as a precursor to get me in the door for law enforcement. So it's kind of always been a dream of mine, and I'm really enjoying it.
Well, thanks for your service to our country. What branch of service were you in, and where did that all take you?
Air Force. Yep. So out of Madison, the 115 Fighter Wing. So I've been in the Air Force National Guard. Got in as security forces. It's been pretty fun. I've been to a lot of different places over the world, different parts of the country. Met a lot of good people. Seen a lot of cool things. So it's been an awesome experience. I wouldn't change it.
But none cooler than Fond du Lac.
Right.
That's right.
I mean, this is the best.
Yes. So Nick comes through our lateral program, which is relatively new. We've had several candidates. For those that remember, we had Joseph Zahner on here, which was our first hire under the new lateral system, and it's a pretty cool program that we have. So basically, if you have law enforcement experience, what used to happen is you'd go to a different agency and you would lose all your seniority. And for those that don't know, seniority is a big deal, because when it comes to vacation picks, when it comes to the amount of vacation you get, when it comes to the pay, you start all over again. And that's a really hard thing for people to do. And we want these people with law enforcement experience at our agency, because they have so much to offer. Not only do they already know how to be cops, we don't have to teach them how to do that, but they know how to be cops in different ways. So we can steal good stuff that they've been doing at maybe their agency and make our agency better in the run. So what we've done is we worked with our HR and everything, and we made it more beneficial to come to our agency. So the cool thing is, when you come over to our agency, as far as pay goes, you don't lose your years of service. So you come over, and if you have 8 years, our steps just happen to be, we have a 7-year step. You hit that 7-year step and you start there. So as an officer that just started last Monday, he is making more than some of our new hire officers already, because he's coming in at such a further step, and it means you don't have to go back in time. And then the same thing with vacation, and he's actually hit the dream spot for vacation, where we don't allow, if someone comes with 20 years on, we don't let them at our 20-year mark of vacation, because we do want them to still work for us, But 7 years, we allow up to the 7-year mark of vacation, which is about 3 weeks, with some floating holidays in there, some other things that we allow them to come in with. So it's great, because these officers that have experience and stuff, a lot of them, they have families already, and they need time off, and they have things they need to get to and do. So we want to make it as easy as we can for that transition, because we value their experience, and we most of the people I brought into the station have been pretty young. We brought in a couple of 20-year-olds in here, some 21-year-olds. So we love them, and they have a lot of stuff, but you don't know what you don't know. So the experience is what we really value in these lateral transfers to come in and be an asset to our police department.
And how much do you appreciate that, right? I mean, those benefits are fantastic.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's not a very common thing right now, so it's a great program, and the fact that they do this it's very nice, and it makes you wanna be here, wanna work.
So as the getting to know with Nick process kind of continues here, one cool thing about him is he was a member of their SWAT team at in Columbia County. So we've been talking about things like that, and you know how fast could that be? Maybe he could join our SWAT team, eventually someday or whatever. If he definitely has an interest in that, so it's kind of cool. Like you wouldn't even think about talking about doing advanced weapon tactics with new hires, but now we have someone that's brand new, but might maybe have something to offer for our SWAT team.
So how long have you been here in Fond du Lac, and what's it been like for your first, however long it's been?
I started Monday.
Oh,
I am brand new here.
This is your first week. This is your first week.
It is.
I always like to drag people on the radio, and we've talked about some of the things we do with new hires, but they basically kind of go through a mini academy, and lateral transfers go through a mini academy. So for new hires, we usually will do 14 days where they don't hit the streets. They just kind of do a lot of like office stuff and PowerPoints, and they do all the skills that the academy offers. So we do a defense and arrest tactics, which we did last Tuesday. We do EVOC, which is emergency vehicle operations. We do all these little things, but we don't have to do as much of them with lateral transfers because they've already done them. So like I said, we don't have to teach them how to be an officer. We just need to teach them to be an officer for us. So we cut down those days, and we just want to get them on the road a little bit quicker. And their field training program, I leave it the same length as we do for new hires. However, we trim as we go. Because even though they know how to be an officer, we don't know at their agency how close they are to our agency. So as we start skimming stuff off, we realize, oh yeah, like they have the same report writing system as we do. Okay, well we can probably not spend so much time on report writing because they know how to do that. They've dictated a report before. Okay, well we don't have to spend as much time on that, and we start trimming as we go, because I always tell them, and I probably told Nick this already, I want you to be comfortable to be on the road, and I want me to be comfortable with you being on the road. And when that comes together, then that means it's time. It's time to send them out on the road.
Any things you like to do when you're not working?
Love the outdoors. Hunting, fishing on my ATV, being on the water. I love Wisconsin. I love the different seasons and the weather. So yeah, in the summer, I'm outside, on the ATV or in the water, and starting in about a month, I'll be in the woods. That's for all the time I have off. So.
Hunting season is going to be coming up, and as far as fishing goes, yeah, you got this nice big lake right in your backyard now.
Yes, you
do. Get to take advantage of, right?
Absolutely.
It's a little green right now, but we noticed that. I was taking them on a tour last Monday, and
isn't it always green?
Yeah,
Can I say that?
August when the algae plumes come, it gets a little green. I don't know if there'll be many people swimming right now, so.
Probably not. We'll stay away from that.
So we had a process last Wednesday, so hopefully down the road I'll be bringing in maybe some people hired from that, I'm hoping. Also, our lateral processes, so just want to send that out for everybody, because our preferred method of doing this would be a lateral process. And
Right.
The thing that hurts is I know that we're stealing from another agency, and I don't like to do that. I really don't, because everyone's hurting for employment right now. But I do have to be a little bit selfish, where I want to make us the best agency we can. And the fastest way to build that up is through the lateral process. So if there's someone out there that that's an officer that wants to leave they're where they're at, maybe they want to come to Fond du Lac or nearby, we don't have any residency requirement. So right now Nick is coming from Columbus, so he's moving to the area, but we don't require you to move to Fond du Lac to work for us. So that's one thing to know. For two is to participate in our lateral process, you just have to contact me, and we basically just set up a date that works for both of us, and we knock it out in like one day. And when I say one day, it's like 4 or 5 hours. And we've actually reduced it now. Unfortunately, Nick wasn't able to take advantage of it. To I could probably do it in probably 3 hours or under. So you come in, you'll meet with our chiefs. You got a couple of steps in the process, and before you know it, you're to backgrounds and testing. So we don't waste a lot of time, and that's another advantage that we have at Fond du Lac. Since I kind of taken this job, is for one, I usually will give you immediate results if I can. So like if you just took a written test and a couple interviews, I'll know by the end of the day whether you passed or not. And I don't know why agencies hold back that information. I don't. You'll usually get a call from me saying, hey, you moved on. If you don't move on, unfortunately, I'm not allowed to give that. Actually, fortunately for me, but unfortunately, I'm not allowed to give that information. So our HR person handles those emails the next day. But that's how we're hoping to create a culture where, you know, people aren't waiting. They know what's going on at all times, and we try to keep in pretty good communication with people, so that hopefully we're making a culture of employees that want to work for us and respect us. So
You guys have been very proactive on the HR front, which I applaud you with. I think it's just all these moves that you're doing are great, certainly making it a lot better for the candidates and making it a lot more attractive as well, which is great.
there's a lot of things that we do when you look at it and you say, are they being effective? Like, so we're doing these processes which require a lot of manpower and stuff, and the old school philosophy was we want to get as many eyes on this person as possible, which is good. I understand that. But also, we weren't eliminating people in processes on certain steps. So like, why are we doing this if we're not eliminating them? And the ones we were eliminating would be eliminated in a background anyway. So like, you know, maybe they'd have like a drug history that was, you know, wasn't gonna work out for law enforcement, something like that. So like, you know, we gotta always constantly look at what we're doing is effective and can we do better. And I think that's what we did. The process on Wednesday was a lot quicker than what it usually is. And the people that went by go right to the chief's interview. That we used to do an assessment center, another whole day in there. We took that out because we weren't eliminating people that it wasn't really worth doing. So we took it out, and so we'll see. We'll see, and hopefully I'll be bringing some more new hires in.
So now as a lateral guy here, cookies with rookies, or is that not applied?
Oh no, cookies with rookies. We do always put the stipulation, just for lack of, you know, something that rhymes as good as cookies with rookies. There was someone offered pets with vets, like that. We would go and visit, have them bring their pet in, but
okay.
It seems like a little bit too much for me. So
Yeah.
we just stuck with the cookies with rookies. We did do it already, and we keep that in house so that we can be a little more lighter with that. So.
Oh, awesome. Well, congratulations. And that's going to do it for this week. This is Behind the Badge, KFIZ Today.